Hello, my name's Dale Calvert. On behalf of Blaze Communications, Enjoy Communications, and the Network Marketing Magazine, I'd like to welcome you to what I sincerely believe is a history-making moment in this profession. I want you to know right up front, I totally respect your time. It's the most valuable asset that any of us have, and I appreciate you being here and listening in. As a former company owner, I understand that your pitch products and programs can constantly, daily, at any time, if I say anything that doesn't line up with the history of this profession, if it sounds like hype or it's not founded on accepted personal growth and wisdom of the ages success principles, then you should, and I invite you to click away. However, as long as what I'm saying is congruent and it makes sense, then I humbly ask that you stay with me because I really believe that George Madu at the Network Marketing Magazine has stumbled upon the answer for this time and this place in the history of the network marketing business model. My goal is real simple. I want the next few minutes to be the most thought provoking and best use of your time in recent history. I know for many of you that give us just a little bit of your focus and thought, this is going to be a time that you'll be able to look back on and say that made the difference for us and for our people and for our company. I believe that this is the answer that will take companies throughout this industry to levels many dream about, but very few actually achieve. Now, the first thing you should be asking is, who in the world is this guy, and why should I be listening to him with his country accent? My name is Dale Calvert, and I've been involved in the industry over 35 years as a frustrated distributor, number one money earner, and also have owned companies and been involved in the corporate aspect as well as being in the field. Like many of you, my life and family have benefit beyond words from what this profession has done for me. I've made millions of dollars building network marketing teams. Unlike most of you, I had zero transferable skills when I entered the profession. I was just a 20-year-old snot-nosed kid from a small town in Kentucky, uh, but I had a real desire and a dream, and really, I was like the majority of people in your company, what we call a 27 percenter. If not for daily engagement with wisdom of the ages success principles, I would have not made it, and neither will most of the people in your company. Now, I was fortunate. I got involved about the time when Sony came out with an invention called a Walkman, and I was able to listen to audios 8 hours a day from some of the thought leaders and wisdom of the ages success principle teachers of the day of that has ever been. Only those with an extra dose of something really have the opportunity to make their dreams come true with the business model called network marketing. Those people are what I call 3 percenters. That's what we're seeing today. But I absolutely know that it doesn't have to be that way. I see this profession through 27 percenters glasses, and I see it differently, and I understand that I do. And I understand, as you do, that there's a lot of people in the marketplace that are trying to get your distributor's attention, telling them what they want to hear so they can sell them what they want to sell them. Name any generic speaker, trainer, author in the profession, anybody that pops in your mind. And they're all going to talk about maybe how much money they've made, but very few people will talk about the people that they personally recruited that had no background in network marketing, had never been involved in network marketing, and through a systematic sequential process, help those people create full-time incomes and achieve the dreams that they came into the profession for. When we were building, we personally developed over 200, 5, 6, and 7-figure income earners on our personal team. And again, I want to reiterate, guys, I'm talking about personally recruiting people that had never couldn't even spell MLM, had never been in the industry, but systematically helping those people achieve the reasons that they came into the profession for. So that's enough about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your company. I would ask you, where do you want your company to be in 5 years? Where do you want it to be? And I get all kinds of answers as I travel around and talk to a lot of different people. Some people's focus, their company's focus is on, just customer acquisition. Some are focused on helping people get to $300 a month. There's a lot of people that said, Dale, I'm done. We got it launched. We're doing okay, and I'm just going to ride it out. I've heard that many times in the last 10, 15 years. I've had owners tell me, as far as I'm concerned, distributors are a necessary evil. It's just something we have to deal with. I've had other owners tell me, the secret to this, Dale, is just keep people stupid and fired up and excited. Actually tell me that. So if you have these types of feelings, I understand. But if you feel this way, you probably aren't watching this anyway. But if you do have these feelings, I can tell you right up front, this is not for you. Because membership, I believe, in this program, down the road, companies, sponsorship will be a badge of honor. A lot of people look at the DSA and are they a member of the DSA, which we could talk about that, the pros and the cons of that all day long. But I sincerely believe that a company that is a member of this platform through the Network Marketing Magazine, it will be considered a badge of honor, a company people are looking for in the future. So where do you want your company to be in 5 years? Where do you want it to be in 5 years? I know many of you have lofty goals for the next 5 years. Many of you watching this. Some of you have plans right now for building legacy companies. Most of the owners I consult with initially tell me, I've heard this many times, Dale, we want to be the next billion-dollar company. My response is always, what's your game plan to make that happen? What's your game plan to make that happen? How are you going to accomplish that? And the answer I've heard the most over the past 5 years is we're just going to focus on consumers, or we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And I said, well, what have you been doing? I mean, sometimes companies have been around 5, 10, 15 years. What have you been doing? What's your projections? Where are you at right now? Well, we had a good year 4 years ago, and it's like, come on, guys, we got to get real sometimes. Sometimes we just got to stop, take a breath, and get real. Well, we had great growth last year, and I would say, okay, what leader joined you? And again, I'm going to be real, and I hope you guys will appreciate that. And I understand, with the government regulation issues that have recently raised their head, I understand the thought process that we're just going to focus on consumers. I get that from that standpoint. But I've always believed that the goal is to build a real business. Network marketing is a business. It's not a hobby. It's a business, and a business has real customers. And in network marketing, real field leaders building real teams, helping other people get what they want. I believe leadership moves products. Your leaders are the ones that create volume for your product or service in your company. Not auto ship. I had an owner said, Dale, well, it's about how many. All I look at is the auto ship numbers. And listen, the reality is there's very few network marketing companies that have had products or services that have created lifetime customers. And every company that I sit down with, every company owner that's launching, especially in the health field, many times they personally experience tremendous health benefits from a specific product, and they really do think that this is the magic product that everybody in the world is going to be taking. And I've had these conversations more times than I like to think about. And the reality of this business model, if you really look at it, the leaders on your teams, the leaders in your company are the ones that create volume. In network marketing, there's 5 levels of leadership. There's people that can lead a small group of family and friends. That's leadership 1. And then leadership 5 is leaders that have worldwide leadership potential, and everywhere in between. But leadership moves products. I teach network marketing field leaders that your long-term income is in direct proportion to the number of leaders that you develop. Keyword, develop on your team. And I hope that you would agree with me that when you sit back and really look at your organization and your company, that leadership is responsible. Leadership at some level, leadership 1, leadership 2, leadership 5, but people with leadership abilities are responsible for creating volume. I like to talk about and give you something to consider, and I call it the paradigm shift of 97, because when 97, when Magazine came out with the We Create Millionaires article, a lot of people realized, hey, there's more of us than just us. And that really started the paradigm shift. As I'm sure you know, the network marketing business model was born out of the personal development movement. That's where it was born. That's where it got its birth. And I believe today, as always, and I've always taught, if you build people, people will build the business. And if we are honest, all we have really accomplished over the past 20 years, if we look at this profession, is we've been recruiting each other. And I date that back to really when this article came out, or this cover came out on Success Magazine, and I call it the leadership paradigm shift of 97. Well, we started focusing on recruiting each other. And I can go back as far as you want to go on this history. I'm not going to in this particular session. But I do know this. Larry Thompson talked about this recently in a video that you probably saw on Facebook. The great Larry Thompson of Herbalife. When a movement gets away from its core fundamentals, there's always unintended consequences. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about any type of movement. When a movement gets away from its core fundamentals, there's always unintended consequences. So where is the profession today, really? And I know there's people that say we just all need to hold hands, sing Kumbaya, and that we have a better way. And I understand that. But I want you to stop for a minute and just think about the top leaders in your company, because when I walk into any company, there's basically 6 different types of leaders involved in every network marketing company. You have the Mr. or Mrs. Lovable. A lot of times they've been around this industry for many years. They're huggers. They love everybody. They wouldn't say a cross word to anybody. They love people. People love them. Then you have the Mr. or Miss Elvis. They like to perform. Then you have the people that are all about the money. And there's nothing about the money bad about the money, because money makes us more of what we already are. But sometimes people get real greedy. And sometimes not all money-focused people are greedy, because money provides a lot of value in this world. But then you have also your Mr. and Mrs. Credibility. These are usually people that had positions of credibility in their local community, and they created a following pretty quickly, maybe because of this profession. That's really how they initially got involved. Then you have your Mr. and Mrs. Personal Development. Sometimes people can want to confuse me as part of that movement. I believe in it and think it's the foundation, but I'm what I call the 7th leader. And then you have Mr. or Mrs. Social Media, technology. They're into the internet and doing everything online and that world. The whole attraction marketing thing. I believe attraction marketing is a real valid business concept for any traditional business, but not the network marketing. I'm not saying it cannot be used, but I am saying that network marketing is not about attracting people that know you, like you, and trust you so they will buy from you. Network marketing, if you're going to fulfill your long-term income potential in this industry, it's in direct proportion to the number of leaders that you develop on your team. That's how you win in this game. That's how you help your people win. I call it the leadership development paradigm shift. And I hope some of you that have not had it will have it before we're done today. I would ask you a very important question. How many of the leaders that you currently have in your company, how many of them started with you versus how many came from another program? How many of them started with you versus how many of them came from another program? Guys, that's an important question at this time in the history of our industry, because I would guesstimate that 95% of the owners that I speak with, the corporate officers, would tell me that 95% of their leaders came from another program. Truth is truth. This is from Lynn Clements. Today, everybody seems to be into retreading existing distributors over and over and dreaming about landing the big heavy hitter. The industry has become sluggish, lazy, and one filled with a lot of spoiled opportunists looking for something for as close to nothing as possible. And the opportunities available to them have exploited and perpetuated this to no end. Where there once was an industry made up of merit-based opportunities and rewarded those who worked hard, retailed, and actually trained and supported their downlines, there is now an industry full of fluff programs with token products that will basically sell you the farm for a small monthly purchase. Lynn Clements. It was an article called The Land of 10,000 Unrecruited Heavy Hitters. Does that sound like where we are today, truthfully, as an industry? This will shock some of you. This article was written 20 years ago, when the dissipation of the network marketing business model was starting. Many people like Mark Yarnell, Lynn, myself, John Milton Fogg, a lot of people were trying to tell people, look, we cannot do what we've been doing. We're getting away from our core fundamentals. This is what I see virtually in every company that I consult or speak for at their events or conference. Virtually every one. When you sit back and you look at the organization, the people, it doesn't matter if there's 1,000 or 10,000 people at the event. Most of them, there's two types of people. You've got network marketing has become just a revolving door. And a lot of companies are just playing the game where they're trying to have more new people coming in than they have new people falling off auto ship every month. That's a game that will never be won. And you see the revolving door. And then you have quote unquote leaders who are on a hamster wheel because they're trying to deal with this that's going on. Guys, this is the way it is in virtually every company in this profession. And again, sometimes a big leader will come in and bring an influx of volume and excitement and resentment. But it is what it is. One of the things that will really, if you really stop and take a look at this, look at the people that you've had that have been with you less than 3 years or more than 10. Because I can go into any organization and I can tell you about any event, and about 60%, 50-60% of the people have been involved less than 3 years. And then about 25% have been involved in the profession in network marketing more than 10 years. And I'll ask this sometimes. I'll say, how many of you have been around 10 years or more in the industry? And have them raise their hand. How many of you have been less than 3 years? And they'll raise their hand. And then I'll say, all of you that have been in the profession in network marketing, not maybe this specific company, but in network marketing from 4 to 9 years, would you please stand up? And it's minuscule. It's minuscule. It's haunting how few people there are that have been involved in the industry longer than 3 years or more than longer than 3 years, from 4 to 9 years. So why is that? It's because we're not developing the 27 percenters. What is this 27 percenter? I'll tell you the how this started, and we'll go from there. But I wrote this book, Why the Masses of Network Marketers Are Frustrated, Confused, and Don't Have a Clue What They're Doing, right after this publication came out. Some of you may remember Network Marketing Lifestyles. I was so excited. I think I became a lifetime member before the first issue came out, and the first one came out, and it had Dr. Stephen Covey, who I greatly respect. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and believe so much of what he's done in the corporate world, and but he had an article trying to teach people how to do network marketing, and it really was frustrating to me because everything that he said was 100% right on in the corporate environment when you can hire and fire people. We're building a voluntary army. It was just disturbing. There was a lot of really good wisdom, but there was other things in there that just absolutely will not play out in this profession, and that's when I wrote this. Right after I read the article, I wrote this book. I will be happy to send any of you a copy of this manuscript if you just request it, because it's so important. That's where we are as a profession. So here's the disconnect. Every company has high performance 3%ers trying their very best to train and support 27%ers. And the reality is 27%ers think differently. 27%ers are good, honest, hardworking people. They're loyal to you and your company, but they just want to have a path to fulfill their dream. 70% of the population is going to die broke. There's nothing you, I, or your company's going to do about it. It's just unfortunately the way it is. But 27%ers are how you build empires, when you can develop those people. That's how empires are truly developed. So again, where do you want your company to be in 5 years? And I would ask you how you're going to accomplish it. What is the answer? What is the answer? And I don't believe it's focusing on consumers and making your website look like every traditional company out there selling the same type of products or marketing the same services you are. I don't believe it's in trying to appeal to consumers in this profession. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think you should do everything that you can to appeal to consumers, but to neglect the realities of this business, it doesn't make sense. Leadership creates volume. And if leadership truly does create volume, then what are your options? Well, some people say, well, we just got to attract more leaders. And I say, I agree. How have you done up to this point? How have you done up to this point? Because most people will blow through a company, get their fast start bonuses. A lot of people play this game, get their fast start bonuses, create as many contacts as they can, and then they go to the next deal and bring as many people as they can to the next deal, and the next one, and the next one. We've all seen it. Then we've also seen companies that try to pay leaders, bridge money. We'll pay you $20,000 a month, Dale, until your income is at $20,000 a month, or until you've been with us a year. I have had these deal offers, but I've never accepted, or would I? I just don't believe in it. If you're that good, then go do it. So that's not the answer. And then we're seeing more mergers and acquisitions in this profession over the last 10, 12 years than we ever have. So we're just going to take what we have and merge it with some other company. And that can be good or bad, but that's probably not the plan that most owners had when they started. In the profession today, we call anybody a leader who's not a customer and can attract a few customers. We call them a leader. And what is the leader in the real world? And it's amazing to me how we've diluted that word to such a point in this profession, leadership. Leadership's the highest paid profession in the world, not management. Leaders are taught by mentors. Managers are taught by professors. Leadership is the highest paid profession in the world. Brian Tracy, I love this quote. He said, the best leaders don't create followers. They don't create followers. They create more leaders. They create other leaders. The function of leadership is to create other leaders. So again, where do you want to be in 5 years? How are you going to accomplish that? What is the answer? I believe, and I've always believed, it's homegrown leaders. Homegrown leaders. You know, it took me 9 years to get to $92,000 a year in this profession. 9 years. It took me 5 years of working really hard, really consistent to be able to leave my job at IBM in Lexington, Kentucky. And then it took 9 years to get to 92,000. But my 10th year jumped to 252,000, which I believe is the way it should be happening. Because I believe once you get to a full-time level, you should have a lot of people that are growing, developing, getting better, mastering their skill sets and their mindsets, and coming down the road. That's the way it should be. Unfortunately, today, most people that get to six figures are out of the industry within 5 years. Why? Because they don't know how to deal with the revolving door. So once you get to 250, once I got to 252, 9 years to 92,000. My 10th year, 252. My 11th year, I earned 1.1 million. My 13th year, I earned 3.3 million, which again is the way it happens. Dale, how did you have so many six-figure earners? That's if you focus on developing six-figure earners, then that's why my income went to 3.3 million. And then my 14th year, 3.8 million. And it was about this time when the dissipation was really kicking in. I saw the movement of the profession towards what I call foo-foo dust. And at 39, I retired from building teams. And then at that point, my phone started ringing and said, Dale, will you come and teach your lead generation, local lead generation methods to our team? Will you come and teach your Programming Your Mind for Success system to our organization, and Super Saturdays and consultant contracts and teaching and training contracts and regional school contracts? And my phone started ringing, but I had no intentions of ever teaching anything when I retired at 39. There was other businesses that I wanted to get involved with and outside of the profession. But it just happened, and I'm very grateful that it has, because it's allowed me to travel all over the world. Because homegrown leadership, ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely believe is the answer. And I believe it's so obvious. But why has this profession done such a lousy job over the past 20 years at developing the next wave of leaders within this profession? And I think that's a real fair question, a very fair question. You know, back in 2000, right before I just said I'm done, I wrote this article. And today, it's even worse, because we've diluted opportunities to the point where distributors are happy. They think they've accomplished something major if they have three and theirs is now free. Again, it just kind of blows my mind. It's sad to me. But in this article, I said, I believe that this industry, this was in 2000, has to return to our roots of personal development, personal growth. We must create a culture that inspires our people to learn, grow, develop, and become all they can become. Develop that next wave of homegrown leaders. Where are the future leaders in your company and in this profession? There's no doubt that dissipation always occurs when a movement gets away from the four core fundamentals that created growth. And I'll probably put this training webinar below this video if anybody wanted to check that out. I'm not going to get into it any heavy detail right now. But network marketing had an awakening, in the 60s, 50s, 60s. And the real growth came in the late 80s, early 90s. It was in major growth mode. And then speculation started. Again, I call it the paradigm shift of 97. And speculation always leads to dissipation. When a movement gets away from its core fundamentals, there's always unintended consequences. And the only way a movement can return to growth is return to what created the growth to start with. It's so important today in this environment, more important than it's ever been. I sincerely believe George Madu has stumbled upon the answer for this time and place in the history of network marketing, the network marketing business model. The only way to consistently develop the next wave of leaders in the profession and your company, if you choose to participate. Yes, I just said I believe this is the only way to consistently develop the next wave of leaders in the profession and in your company if you choose to participate. And I think it would be a very intelligent decision. A training and leadership development platform that has never been available to the profession until now. And I know that sounds like a lot of hype and blah, 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 but it's facts. It's facts. We've all heard the statement, success leaves clues. Well, the content delivery platform itself, by itself, maximizes personal growth. Just the content platform, regardless of the content. The platform. Gamification is a new business buzzword. We're going to hear a lot more about it. George asked me to be on a special conference call back in the summer with myself, and I think there was about 18 people, a lot of big names, well-respected people, and they explained this platform. And because of my beliefs and my background in building people and understanding the world in which we live in, I immediately saw what the potential was and got involved full bore with this. And a lot of really smart people and a lot of time, energy, and hours have been put into this. But there is a reason companies like Toyota, NASA, Bloomingdale's, and many other Fortune 500 companies are using the platform to develop their internal teams and their next level of leaders and managers within their corporate structure. Again, this gamification concept is very, very real. And again, I cannot believe that George stumbled on this. I'm just beyond blown away and extremely excited about it for you and for this profession. A new era of network marketing leadership development is starting, and it's called the 27%er Success System. Gamification of skill sets and mindsets is what this platform will do through daily engagement. Daily engagement. So critical, daily engagement. The reality is 27%ers are good, honest, hardworking people. They're loyal, they're dedicated, but they need to develop new skill sets and mindsets. Most of them do not have a lot of transferable skills when they enter this industry. And the people that do have transferable skills and can get a following started and a team off the ground, they run into a whole set of other problems down the road because of the revolving door, which we've already talked about. But future leaders in your company, 27%ers, log in daily and receive sequential training and accumulate points through the gamification of this platform. So they can read the Coach's Corner, they can read the Wisdom of the Ages quote, they can watch the video, and they get points. And each month is around a specific sequential skill set or mindset, because repetition is the mother of learning. We're in a world where we all have information overload. There's abundance of information in the marketplace, but repetition of the right principles, concepts, and internalization of those principles and concepts ultimately is what's going to create leaders within your company. I could get in a lot more detail here. I won't. I know that new skill sets and mindsets are required for your team to achieve their full potential with the network marketing business model for your company. I know that. This is the gamification of those skill sets and mindsets. And again, the platform has never been done within the network marketing business model ever. They can log in every day. They can read the Coach's Corner, the quote. They can watch the daily video. They get points. And again, first month is mindset. Second month is launching your business or relaunching your business. creating customers in your local community where you have geographical credibility. And everything, month 2 is about the launch or the relaunch. Now, month 3 is about lead generation and how do you create more customer leads? How do you find the right people whose window is open, where the timing might be right to take a look at your business, and so on and so forth. It's very progressive, it's very sequential, and it just flat out works. It's how 27 percenters must be developed. And at the end of each month, there's monthly progress reports where they can compete with themselves, look at their numbers, stay focused on their reasons why, and keep moving forward with wisdom that will move their life and their business forward. That which is not tracked cannot be improved upon. That's just a proven business concept, a proven skill development concept. We've heard in this industry for years, a good week unrecognized diminishes, a bad week expands. These people can get high fives daily from other members for their positive activity. Time management is something we talk about later on. There's so many good things here, but again, it's sequentially based upon where that person is when they start. It's designed to develop the people that maybe have never been around this industry. The majority of people that are around this company, and we conduct multiple surveys every month. We know how long most people have been involved in most companies, and the revolving door is real. It's absolutely real. And a lot of companies will launch, they get a lot of momentum, a lot of good things happening, then it starts to slow down, and then they get to the revolving door stage where their only goal is really to have more new people coming in the front door than they have going out the back door. You're not going to build that way. Homegrown leadership is the answer. I believe and have taught sequential training for over 35 years. I know it's the answer for the 27 percenters. And again, I believe the people that we've personally recruited and worked with and who were 27 percenters, which was the majority of the people that we've worked with, the track record is very documented. In today's world, everybody is suffering from entrepreneurial ADD. It's real. When many of us started, we didn't have email boxes full every day with the newest, latest, greatest foo-foo dust product that was going to make you a millionaire in 90 days and all the other stuff that we all have to deal with. Daily engagement of sequential training will help all leaders in your company maximize their personal upside potential and the members on their teams. So just a quick review. The Network Marketing Magazine Success System platform. This is a new success system. This new success system is a new training tool to improve profitability, performance, and consistency in your business. This system has been used in other industries by Fortune 500 companies to drastically increase sales, productivity, retention, leadership development, and overall performance. And now, for the first time, it's available exclusively through the Network Marketing Magazine, first time ever in the history of this profession. Your 27 percenters need it, and they're going to really appreciate it. The right people are repelled by the hype, and they respond to wisdom of the ages principles. Truth is truth, I like to say. Loyalty and retention will drastically improve. Your company can have a custom platform once you reach 5,000 members, where the Network Marketing Magazine will help you put together a newsletter where you can have distributor recognition, advanced product and training, all kinds built right into the platform once the numbers make that understandable to take that type of move. But that's possible for every owner, every corporate officer that listens to this webinar, this training. That can happen for you over time. Some of you can do that next week. Some of you listening can do that next week. And the Network Marketing Magazine team can talk to you more about creating the custom program once you have 5,000 members. There's an additional cash flow aspect of this. it will create 32,400 annually in annual cash flow for every 1,000 members. For every 1,000 members, additional 32,000. So, the 5,000 number, that would be over 150,000 in additional income that could help with your events and other training aspects. Talking with one company, and that we're going to use that for you to come and do the leadership school for our up and coming leaders, and then there's all kinds of possibilities that extra cash flow can help with. And we'll say, well, Dale, we're a small company. We might only have 100 members. Well, that's still going to help, but that's not the draw here in any way, shape, or form. And if you think it is, you're looking at this from a totally perspective that I hope that you aren't. The development of future leaders in your company is what this really provides. Loyalty and increase in business volume. It will happen because leadership 1, leadership 2, 3, 4, 5, leadership creates volume. This can make a huge impact on the profession and returning the entire profession to a state of growth. I personally feel it's a responsibility as ownership, as leadership, corporate leadership in network marketing companies. I believe it's a responsibility to make this option available for your people. There's a Bible verse that says, too much is given, much is required. The 27 percenters in your company will waste hundreds, possibly thousands of dollars on non-sequential training programs and seminars from self-proclaimed gurus that will tell them exactly what they want to hear, so they will buy what they want to sell them. You all have seen it. It's an epidemic today in this profession. It shouldn't be, but it is. It's an epidemic. When members experience daily engagement, personal growth, and they're progressing, the search for foo-foo dust diminishes. When the hunger is being fed, and the only way the hunger can be fed is through wisdom of the ages, principles, concepts, ideas. That's it. Foo-foo dust doesn't feel hunger. And when members experience daily engagement, personal growth, and progression, the search for foo-foo dust that I know many of you are concerned about diminishes. I was talking to an owner last week. He said, Dale, they're all going to some seminar in Las Vegas instead of coming to our national event. That's what's going on. That's the dynamics that are happening. The initial response to those using this platform, and it's just been launched, has been beyond positive. It's like the right people in every company have been waiting for this to happen. Your people will be thankful that your company cares enough about their success to make this an option for them. I want to share with you an email that I received, and I would ask you how many people that you have right now in your company feel this way. This is from Bernetta. She said, hi Dale, and she was on the live webinar that I did with some of our top clients. And, we've been teaching generically, as I mentioned earlier, since 2000. It says, hi Dale, first of all, I just want to say thank you for all you do and have done for so many years. I am so excited and terrified at the same time. I have learned that when you let go of everything, the right things return back to you. I am the one that shared with you my friend Pranita Tate's quote. That is basically my motto for life, not just network marketing, but I am glad that it's touched you so. You are the utopia of that quote. I've been struggling with my network marketing journey due mostly to the fact that my family has not been supportive and has literally been destructive to my goals. Before I continue, I have to share this quote with you guys because for me it's one of the most powerful quotes I've ever heard, and I've heard it about a year ago when Bernita shared it with me. It's from someone I have not yet met, but I will, Pranita Tate. And it's really my call to the profession because of all the foo-foo dust in the marketplace. And Pernita said, don't resell the lies you bought. Obliterate them, so no one else gets a hold of them, and unlearn them, and re-educate yourself, and then teach what is true. I sincerely believe that's where we are as a profession. More than ever, and now's the time. Let me continue. She said, I've taken this time to build my inner spiritual strength and deal head on with my fears. I love that. I love anybody that's willing to deal head on with their fears. It is still terrifying, but not as terrifying as a life without pursuing and succeeding in network marketing. I started this journey in 2005 and had absolutely no idea what I was doing, and now I definitely cannot say that. Tears were streaming down my cheek this evening while listening to you. And that's when we actually launched it, I think I mentioned previously. I told myself that I'm not going to let my family be broke anymore. I have too many things to achieve in this lifetime, and I can't do it without network marketing. This is the realization. The foo-foo dust trap is so vast, you don't even realize that you're falling into it. Tonight just blew my mind. I just kept thinking, how in the world are there only 172 people on this webinar? And then I just kept thanking God that I was one of them. God bless you. And Dawn, that's my wife, and everyone who's part of this. I am grateful to have this opportunity to change my life. I believe anyone who is serious needs this as soon as possible. I know I do. Thanks again. Sincerely, Bernetta. How many people do you have in your company right now that will feel the exact same way when you make this option available to them? How many? I really believe it's time to stop the hamster wheel and the revolving door and return this profession to its roots of personal growth and development. I hope you agree and make your company part of this movement. So some of you I know are thinking, well, Dale, what do we need to do? How can we participate now? Contact George or myself or the leader that shared this presentation with you. I can schedule a private webinar to kick off this platform for your distributors. You can talk to us about speaking at company events, someone on the team. That can be arranged. Your team members who choose to be participants, the way this works, it's real simple. They invest 97 cents for their first month, and they can test drive it, see how they like it, see if it makes sense. And then it's $27 monthly to access the platform. And then what will happen is the results will speak for themselves, because I know that when people get daily wisdom of the ages concepts and ideas and principles, they're going to feel it. And when they feel it, they're going to want more of it, and they're going to continue to come down the road and decide to become all they can become and become the leader they can become within your company. And the reality is they're going to hear about this. And it's really better if it comes from the company than their relative that's involved in another company. And I hope that is very clear. It's much better if it comes from the company than a relative that's in another company. So as a company, what do you have to lose? I hope the advantages of your people and the development of future leaders in your company is beyond obvious. The platform itself creates growth regardless of the content, and I will stand by this content 100%. 100%. We use so many materials from so many thought leaders, but it's sequential. It's not today you're going to learn about, how to do BNI meetings, and then tomorrow we're going to talk about social media, and then the next day we're going to talk about goal setting, and the next day we're not. That's not sequential, and that's not the way this is delivered. I really honestly believe that you do have more to lose than some of you can probably imagine. As I mentioned earlier, all your distributors are going to, and I misspelled here, I apologize, are going to hear about this somewhere. And the right ones will be joining with some company. The right people are going to be joining this. The people that you really want, the right people, the people that are not into the hype and the rah-rah, the people that really want direction, support, leadership. The next wave of distributors, development, and company growth in our history, it's here right now for you and your company. I hope you will join us in returning this profession to the foundational principles that created the initial growth and that all of us listening have benefited from. I hope you'll decide to become one of our companies that are part of this. I look forward to speaking with you. Thank you sincerely for your time. I hope it was the most thought-provoking and best value of your time that you've had in recent history. I look forward to speaking with you soon. Thank you.